Check the tag on whatever you're wearing right now. Seriously, look at it. If it says 100% polyester and you paid more than $30, you're about to find out exactly why that was a mistake. I checked the fabric tags on 10 of the most popular women's fashion brands, from $12 to $89. Every single one said the same thing. 100% polyester, made in the same handful of countries, using the same overlocked seams and the same construction shortcuts. The only thing that changed was the price tag and the size of the marketing budget behind it. 10 brands, all overcharging you. We're counting them down from the most obvious to the most surprising. The first 5 you probably already know are a waste. The last 5 are brands millions of women think are an upgrade. They're not. And number 1 has the highest profit margin on this entire list, while selling you the exact same fabric as the cheapest brand at number 9. Number 10, Romwe. Most people don't know this. Romwe is owned by the same parent company as Shein. Roadgut Business Private Limited operates both brands. They share suppliers, share logistics, and in some cases list the exact same products with the same factory photos at slightly different prices. You're not choosing between 2 brands, you're choosing between 2 storefronts for the same warehouse. Everything wrong with Shein applies here. 120 to 140 grams per square meter polyester, $1.50 to $3 manufacturing costs, and the same documented labor concerns. Romwe exists to capture the shoppers who think they've found an alternative to Shein. They haven't. It's the same product with a different logo. Number 9, Shein. Shein isn't cheap because it's efficient. It's cheap because every possible cost has been stripped from the garment and transferred to you through repeat purchases. 95 to 100% polyester at 120 to 140 grams per square meter, the thinnest woven fabric you can commercially produce. You buy it, wear it 3 times, replace it, and the cycle funds itself. Shein's parent company has been sued over 50 times for copying independent designers' work. Investigations have found workers on 18-hour shifts for a few $100s a month. The brand drops thousands of new styles daily, not because demand requires it, but because volume and addiction are the business model. The price isn't low, the quality is. Number 8, Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova spends more on influencer deals than on fabric. When you buy a $25 Fashion Nova dress, most of your money isn't going into the garment. It's going into the Instagram post that made you want it. The dress itself costs roughly $3 to $5 to produce. Thin stretch polyester, single needle overlocked seams, no lining, no reinforcement. The fabric is so light that in many cases you need shapewear underneath just to make it photograph the way it does on the influencer who was paid to wear it. Investigations found Fashion Nova factory workers earning as little as $2.77 per hour, with millions in unpaid wages across its supply chain. The California Labor Commissioner ordered factory operators to pay workers over $3.8 million in back wages. The brand pushes hundreds of new styles weekly because it doesn't need any of them to last. It needs them to photograph well and sell once. You're not buying clothes. You're buying content that happens to be wearable, briefly. Number 7, Pretty Little Thing. Pretty Little Thing is owned by the Boohoo Group, which also owns Nasty Gal, Miss Pap, Karen Millen, and Coast. These brands share factories, supply chains, and warehousing. A PLT bodycon dress at $38 and a Boohoo branded version at $20 use the same fabric, same construction, same country of origin. The only difference is which Instagram account sold it to you. Boohoo Group's filings show a gross margin of 52 to 54%. On a $38 PLT dress, that means roughly $18 to $20 covers the entire garment, and the rest is the company's cut. But the Boohoo branded version at $20 uses the same factories. The extra $18 on the PLT version is pure brand positioning. Boohoo Group suppliers in Leicester were found paying workers £3.50 per hour, well below minimum wage. But PLT has positioned itself as the premium brand within the group, charging nearly double for the same product. That's not premium. That's a pricing trick, built on which logo you recognize. Number 6. Forever 21. Bankruptcy changed nothing. Forever 21 filed for bankruptcy in 2019 and was acquired by a consortium including Authentic Brands Group, a licensing company that also manages brands like Reebok, Brooks Brothers, and Barney's New York. Notice a pattern? A BG specializes in buying dead or dying brands and extracting licensing revenue from the name. The acquisition didn't improve the product. It preserved the brand name and the licensing fees, while the same factories produce the same lightweight polyester at the same razor-thin quality standards. The clothes still use thin synthetic blends, still fall apart after a few washes, and still rely on a supply chain with documented wage violations. Lawsuits have revealed sweatshop-like conditions tied to its production. Bankruptcy was supposed to be a reset. Instead, it was a corporate restructuring that changed the ownership and left the garments completely untouched. The label survived. The quality problem survived right alongside it. Okay, pause. Everything so far is obvious. Shein, Fashion Nova, PLT, Forever 21. Most of you already know these are a waste of money. If you're still buying from them, the math is simple. A $15 dress worn 3 times is $5 per wear. A $100 dress from a quality brand worn 100 times is $1 per wear. The cheap dress is 5 times more expensive per actual use. But the next 4 brands are the ones that fool smart women. They charge more, look better in store, and market themselves as a step above fast fashion. When you check the tags, check the factories, and check the markups, the gap between what they charge and what they deliver is just as wide. In some cases wider. And that's what makes them worse. They know you're trying to shop smarter, and they've designed the entire experience to make you think you have. If the Shein connection surprised you, hit like. The next 4 brands are going to surprise you more. Number 5. Nasty Gal. Nasty Gal was once an independent brand with a genuine identity. Started on eBay, built into a cult following, featured on a Netflix series. Then Boohoo Group acquired it in 2017 after it filed for bankruptcy, and it became another shell in the same system as Pretty Little Thing. Same factories, same supply chain, same quality problems, different Instagram aesthetic, and a slightly higher price point to capture a different demographic. The cool girl branding specifically targets women who think they're too savvy for PLT, but the product behind the marketing is identical in construction and materials. Inconsistent sizing, thin fabric, loose stitching, and a returns process designed to discourage sending things back. Nasty Gal isn't an independent brand anymore. It's a Boohoo sub-label wearing a leather jacket, and the leather is polyurethane. Number 4. Topshop. Topshop collapsed in 2020 when its parent company Arcadia Group went into administration. ASOS acquired the brand name and relaunched it as an online-only label. No stores, no fitting rooms, no in-person quality check before you buy. But the prices stayed mid-range as if nothing had changed. The original Topshop had in-house design teams, dedicated quality oversight, and a supply chain built over decades of retail operation. The ASOS version is a brand name licensed onto standard fast fashion production with no connection to the original factories, designers, or quality standards. It's like buying a vintage car badge and welding it onto a new economy car. The logo is real, everything behind it is different. You're paying for nostalgia and a name that no longer represents what it once did. Topshop isn't a brand that declined. It's a brand that died and is being worn as a costume by a completely different company. Quick challenge before the top 3. Go to your wardrobe and check how many pieces you own from the brands we've covered so far. Now ask yourself, how many of them still look the way they did when you bought them? Drop the count in the comments. I bet the number is lower than you think. Number 3. H&M. H&M is the brand that makes you feel responsible while doing exactly what Shein does at a slightly higher price point. Their Conscious collection, the one with the green tags that says "made from sustainable materials," represents less than 12% of total output. The other 88% is standard fast fashion from factories across Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Myanmar. H&M Group produces over 3 billion garments per year. The green tag is a rounding error on an ocean of polyester. H&M Group's financial filings report a gross margin consistently around 53%. That means for every dollar you spend, roughly 47 cents covers the actual garment, fabric, labor, shipping. The other 53 cents goes to rent, marketing, and profit. That's a luxury level margin on disposable quality products. In 2022, Dutch regulators investigated and concluded that several H&M sustainability claims were misleading. Their garment recycling program. Less than 1% of collected clothing actually becomes new garments. Most gets downcycled into industrial rags. A $19.99 H&M dress is 100% polyester at 130 grams per square meter, made in Bangladesh, with a landed cost of $3 to $4. That's a 5 times markup. The same ratio as Shane, just with a green tag, better store lighting, and a recycling bin at the entrance that makes you feel like buying more is somehow helping. The sustainability story is the product. The dress is the afterthought. Number 2. Zara. Zara is the most successful illusion in women's fashion. The minimalist stores, the runway-inspired designs, the higher price tags. Everything is engineered to make you feel like you've graduated from fast fashion. You haven't. You've graduated to fast fashion with better interior design and a more sophisticated shopping bag. Zara is owned by Inditex, which also owns Bershka, Pull & Bear, and Stradivarius. These brands share supplier factories in Turkey, Bangladesh, and Portugal. I pulled tags from a $90 Zara blazer and a $45 Bershka blazer. Identical composition, 64% polyester, 34% viscose, 2% elastane. Both made in Turkey. Same double needle stitching, same fused interlining. Inditex's annual filings report a gross margin of 56 to 57%, higher than H&M, on a product that shares factories with its own budget brands. A $90 Zara piece costs roughly $12 to $15 to manufacture. For every $90 you spend at Zara, about $51 goes to the company, not the garment. Zara also releases new styles multiple times a week and deliberately produces in limited runs, creating artificial scarcity. That "buy it now or it's gone" pressure is manufactured to override the part of your brain that says, "Do I actually need this?" The average Zara shopper visits 17 times a year versus 3 to 4 for most retailers. You're not paying for better fabric. You're paying for a store that's been engineered to make you buy things you don't need, made from materials that won't last. Every brand so far has been some version of fast fashion, cheap fabric, quick production, high markup. But number one is the brand that charges you the most to pretend it isn't fast fashion at all. Number 1. Urban Outfitters. Urban Outfitters is number 1 because it's the most expensive lie on this list. The stores look like curated vintage shops. The branding feels indie and artistic. The prices sit at $59 to $89 for dresses and tops. And the fabric, 100% polyester. Made in China. The same material category as a $12 Shane dress. URBN's financial filings reveal a gross margin of approximately 65 to 67%, higher than Zara, higher than H&M, higher than nearly every brand on this list. For every $68 dress, roughly $44 goes to the company and $24 covers the actual product. That's the widest margin gap we've covered today. A typical Urban Outfitters dress costs $8 to $12 to manufacture. At $68 retail, that's a 6 to 8 times markup, identical to Shane's ratio. You're just paying more for the playlist, the exposed brick, and the scented candle at the register. But here's the construction detail that makes UO uniquely deceptive. Many pieces use garment dyeing. The finished garment is dyed after assembly rather than using pre-dyed fabric. This creates the vintage wash look UO is known for, and it seems artisanal. But garment dyeing on polyester blends produces uneven color saturation that washes out significantly faster than standard piece-dyed fabric. It's also cheaper because quality control on color consistency is less stringent. The handcrafted look is actually a cost-cutting method disguised as an aesthetic choice. That faded, lived-in feel you paid $68 for. It's going to keep fading, and not in a way you'll like. Urban Outfitters is owned by URBN, which also operates Anthropologie and Free People. Same parent company, same fast fashion production cycles, different lifestyle branding layered on top. The construction is no better than H&M. The materials are no different from Zara. But because the store feels different, you assume the clothes are different. They're not. That's why it's number one. Every other brand on this list is obviously cheap or obviously fast fashion. Urban Outfitters is the only one that convinces smart women they're buying something elevated when the tag tells a completely different story. Check the tag, it's always polyester. 10 brands. 10 different price points. 10 different stores, aesthetics and marketing strategies. One common thread, the fabric tag says the same thing. 100% polyester, made in the same countries, using the same construction shortcuts. The only variable is how much they charge you for the illusion that it doesn't. Before your next purchase, flip the tag. If it says 100% polyester and the price is over $30, you're not paying for the dress. You're paying for the brand's rent, its influencer budget, and the carefully designed feeling of shopping somewhere that seems better than it is. The tag never lies, the marketing always does. Drop a comment. Which of these 10 brands surprised you most? And which one is still in your wardrobe right now? Be honest. If this changed how you shop, hit subscribe. Next week, we're revealing the 5 worst and 5 best women's fashion brands you can buy. We tested construction, materials, and markups side by side, and one brand that's on everyone's best list failed so badly it ended up on the worst.